Everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk here on YouTube.com. Is Goal MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio and Dee Woodson. Michael Bullock will most likely not be able to be on the show tonight, which is fine. We are going to just dive right in. There's only one thing we're going to start, and that's Smackdown Live. There's nothing else we're going to do. No Mikey's Mindset, because due to work commitments beyond my control, I just want to get the show done as fast as we can tonight. So we're just going to do it. SmackDown Live went down on Tuesday night from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey on the USA Network. And it started off with Shane McMahon, with Daniel Bryan as well. And it was a very strong segment. Well done by both men. I loved the fact of you could feel the tension between both men, between Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. They talked about the fight to champions and everything that went down, but I love the back and forth. I thought this was an amazing way to start the show. For me, segment of the night, no doubt about that. Anthony Florio, come on in, give me your 2 cents about the segment.
Excuse me. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Matt. It was a solid segment to play off of the Clash of the Champions angle. I thought Daniel Bryan was particularly good here. I mean, he brought up the whole best for business shtick, and he says that Shane, don't turn into your father, don't turn into Mr. McMahon. And then Shane was saying, all right, I trust you. I'm going to leave the show in your hands. So off we go. So I agree with everything you just said. And that's segment of the night. Solid way to start the show. They played off the angle well. Daniel Bryan was very good. So nothing more to say on that. Dee Woodson, let's get your thoughts on this opening segment.
Hey, I'll agree with that. It was a very solid segment, and it was a good way to start off the show. So not much more I have to say about it. So Fletch, it's yours.
First fight of the night, tag team action. The Usos going up against Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. Winners at 8 minutes and 33 seconds. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. Congratulations to them. Anthony, it's yours.
Second best fight of the night, 2 3/4 stars. Pretty good opening match, setting up the rematch for the titles down the line. I gotta tell you, Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable, they're really turning into a great team. I'm starting to sell on these. I'm starting to be sold on these guys. I'm starting to believe in them. So there's no doubt about it. We're gonna get a rematch down the road, probably on a future SmackDown Live. So really all I can say on that. So second best fight of the night for me. Solid action throughout. 2 3/4, teetering on 3. Nothing more to say. Dee Woodson, your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. 2 3/4. Definitely a good way to start off the match portion of SmackDown. And yeah, I think somewhere down the line we'll see these guys actually go for the title in the title picture. When, where, not sure, but it's going to happen. I guarantee it. So not much more I have to say. Fletch, take it.
Then we had a women's match. Well, first off, we had Charlotte Flair cut a quick little promo, basically voicing her appreciation and how awesome from the night before the big announcement about the Women's Royal Rumble. But she also said that she had goosebumps from the video package, how proud she was being the SmackDown Women's Champion. She basked in her title win, and then she went on to say that she would be proud to take on the winner of the Women's Royal Rumble match in the main event of WrestleMania. But it was briefly interrupted by Naomi, and Naomi has declared herself as the first SmackDown woman to officially announce that she is going to be a part of the upcoming Royal Rumble match for the ladies. And then it was basically interrupted again by the Riot Squad. This time Ruby Riot and Sarah Logan interrupted, and it ended up being a match. And once it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 4 minutes and 11 seconds, Charlotte Flair and Naomi gets the victory. Dee Dee Woodson, it's all yours, my dear.
This was an okay fight. I mean, it was a bit rushed, but I'm gonna give it 2 stars. Anyway, just for the effort. I mean, it. I'm not super familiar with the Riot Squad just because of the fact I haven't been able to watch SmackDown lately. This was probably the first one I've seen in a while, but I wasn't entirely impressed with the Riot Squad. When I watched it, then out of the two factions in the 2 shows, I think I like the one on Raw better. I mean, Paige seems to have hers a lot more organized than these guys, so not much more I have to say about it. Florio, it's yours.
I agree with the rating, 2 stars. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the match was too short, and Riot Squad. I mean, I thought they were going to be built like Absolution on Monday Night Raw, but can't say I'm a fan of that. I mean, if you want us to take them seriously, you got to have them, be that unbeatable force like Absolution is on Monday Night Raw. So, I mean, so they lost so easily, so soon, and it was way too short of a match. So, I couldn't agree with Dee Dee's rating more. Solid 2 stars, and like Dee Dee said, and I also agree that Absolution is far better than the Riot Squad. So there is to it. Absolution, I believe they're undefeated. I believe they haven't tasted defeat yet. Whereas the Riot Squad, well, they were made fools of. So yeah, so Dee Dee's absolutely right. Absolution's far better. So, and Naomi in the Rumble, not a big surprise. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be all the Raw women and all the SmackDown women, and maybe we'll see some NXT ladies in that as well. Maybe some legends. Well, we already know one legend for sure, according to MF from last night, basically confirming about Trish. I mean, the minute he said that, I mean, my heart skipped a beat or two. So, looking forward to seeing that. You better believe it. So, nothing more to say on that. Solid 2 stars. So, MF, either we move on or give your thoughts on it if you saw it.
I'm just gonna move on. It was a 2-star fight. I know that about it. I'll give you that. Um, and we'll just wait and see what happens there. So the next thing we had was Dolph Ziggler and his United States Heavyweight Championship celebration. And when this was all said and done, he basically poetic justice talked about stuff that he's done in professional wrestling, won many titles, this and that, and how he's one of the most decorated stars in WWE history. He said night after night, year after year, he proves himself to be the very best, which true. But he said that he if he wanted something to be remembered by, then what he did was he put down the United States title in the center of the ring and left. Whoa, what does that mean? What is up with this? I mean, I was even stunned with that as well. I don't know what to think. Is this a swerve? Is this real? What's going on? I thought this was beautifully done by Ziggler, and there's been a lot of rumors about him possibly retiring. Who knows? But wow, that's all I can say about that. Is just wow. Anthony, what did you? What was what? What were you thinking after that Ziggler promo?
The more they try with him, the more forced it is. I mean, I was fine with him gloating. I mean, he is a smarky d-bag heel, and he should. But I don't get it. What are they doing with the walkaway deal? It felt too forced and too insider, like that phoned it in entrance gimmick that he was doing. Maybe he's going to get some time off, come back as an uncrowned champ. Maybe that'll work. But the promos come off as whiny and boring. And when he's done, we just want him to go. We don't just want him to go away and stay away, not because he's a good heel, but because nothing he's done has made me really care. And I mean, if he wins the title in what ended up being a very good match, and then they try to rebuild him with some wins. So we'll see where it goes. But I do have some inside information here. PW Insider is reporting that Dolph Ziggler will not be appearing on SmackDown Live, but he is still scheduled for live events. And Ziggler's going to be kept off TV in order to sell this angle. No word on where the storyline is going yet, however. That's all I can give you for now. So I basically said my piece. Second best segment of the night, though. The opener was better. So Edie Whitson, it looks like Dolph Ziggler's phoning it in again.
I didn't like the no music gimmick, and I am even more unimpressed with the walk away gimmick now. You know, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what game they're playing, what the writers or Ziggler or whoever's in charge of this thing is thinking. But I mean, it's worthless. It's pointless. I have no need to sit through a segment like this. So I have nothing more to say. Fletch, just take it.
Next thing we had was The New Day versus Aiden English and Rusev. Winners of the bout at 8 minutes and 58 seconds. The New Day. Anthony, it's yours.
1 star, worst fight of the night. Can't be comedy. It was holiday. Can't be comedy nonsense at its finest here. You would think after the crowd reaction, that big crowd reaction that Rusev got in Boston, it would have been nice to have had a regular match and play off of that. Instead, we got these guys in holiday Christmas costumes, with the only goal being to put Aiden English's face into a plate of whipped cream cherry pancakes. I'm sure some loved it. Of course, we all know McDinkleberg obviously loved it. You know, that even though he's a 72-year-old man, he still has the brain of a 6-year-old. And this was clearly something that a 6-year-old would have come up with, honestly. Only those diehard New Day fans, I'm sure they loved it. But for me, I have no place and no interest in can't be comedy, bull funky nonsense, especially holiday can't be comedy, bull funky nonsense. It's something worse than that. So, yeah, you don't get nonsense like this on Raw nowadays, do you? No. So, 1 star, worst fight of the night. Nothing more to say. Can't be comedy nonsense. So, Didi, I'm sure you agree with me on this.
I'm even going lower. I'm not even rating it. It was stupid. I mean, it's definitely the worst fight of the night. It was the stupidest thing I've ever seen. My 20-year-old walked into the house while that was on, and he was like, "What the?" And he definitely agreed with me. I mean, he's not even that big of a wrestling watcher or wrestling fan, and he even agreed that that was the stupidest thing he'd ever seen, having Santa Claus and Olaf fighting these these 3 idiots from New Day, because that's how they came off. Everybody came off as idiots in this match. I mean, it was just stupid. It wasn't worth it. It was basically a waste of time, waste of segment, waste of match. Just, I don't know what else to say about it. Just, it was stupid. So, Fletch, just take it.
All right, guys, I'll save you here for the main event of the evening. It was Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura and the WWE Champion AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens. The winners of the bout in 16 minutes and 59 seconds. Yeah, give it up for the face squad. Orton, Styles, and Nakamura wins the match as AJ Styles was basically a phenomenal forearm on Kevin Owens. And actually, if you notice, there was a little bit. Randy Orton kind of gave a little push to AJ Styles. Some people thought that Orton would have turned heel here and dropped Orton with or dropped Styles with an RKO out of nowhere, but he actually did not. And then Nakamura, which is the Kinshasa on Sami 3 to end it. So, Dee, what's in? Give me your thoughts on the main event.
Now, the main event definitely was the match of the night. I mean, that was definitely something worth waiting for, something worth watching. But you guys know me. I don't like the stupid interference that we had, because basically this wasn't a six-man tag. This was basically a 3-on-5 handicap match because of the stupid match. Thank God, nothing came out of it, because of course, they didn't even get halfway up the ramp before they were back out there again trying to stop the pinfall. And definitely getting the RKO from Orton in the process of them trying to stop, anything from happening with Jinder. But it was still a pretty good match. I enjoyed it, so not much more I have to say about it. When you guys take it.
Solid 3 stars for me. Fight of the night, saving grace of the show. Good and fun main event. Now, to some of you who may have watched, we had this. We actually saw this match again. We saw this on the Tribute to the Troops special last week. Same outcome, but I can honestly say this main event here last night was better. And it was a fun way to close the show, and have the baby faces going over here. So solid match, good action throughout. I mean, easily the fight of the night. Although you can make an argument for that opening match, but solid, good and fun main event. Good way to close it out. Better than the Tribute to the Troops match these two had. So nothing more to say here. Solid 3. So MF, if you don't have any thoughts, overall review.
3 stars for me. Fight of the night. Great way to close the show, no doubt about it. And you know what? This was a solid ending for SmackDown Live. Yes, there was maybe one major cutout, which was, we kind of did get into it about the tag team fight. But other than that, I don't think there was really nothing bad this week on SmackDown Live, which means everything right in this situation. SmackDown. Yes, the team is a little more limited, and only do a certain amount of stuff at the end of the day. But fight of the night was the tag team fight, Aiden English and Rusev. The night goes to tag, and then you also had some solid stuff. You had a pretty good tag team fight with Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin versus the Usos. You also got some storyline progression. Dolph Ziggler is coming. Mind that. And then, of course, the Women's Royal Rumble gets center stage with, a pretty decent women's tag team fight. And the start of the show really set the tone for the rest of the night. No pun intended, Anthony, but it did. For me, maybe 6.5 to 7 out of 10. I think this was on par with Monday Night Raw. Maybe Raw, because I know a lot of people were really slamming Raw and saying that yes, it was a good show, it was newsworthy, but they expected something better. I get again SmackDown Live. It was good, it was solid, but I think we were expecting a little more. But maybe the bar has been set a lot now because if you think about it, the last few weeks SmackDown's been really average to mediocre. So this is actually a pretty good showing this time around, saying, okay, not bad, you got to do better. You got to raise that bar again. Remember, SmackDown Live for a long time was dominating Monday Night Raw week after week after week. Now it feels like Raw is definitely gaining some momentum and is even at some points even been better than SmackDown. Openly admit. I think SmackDown just kind of needs to find their identity. Good thing now that we got towards the end of the year, maybe one more show, maybe throw a couple of feelers out there just for the holidays. And then once the holidays are over, once we can start focusing on Royal Rumble, that's when I think SmackDown will really turn up the heat, if you know what I mean. So 6.5 for me. Anthony, go ahead.
I think you slightly overscored an MF. I'm leaning more towards 5.5 to 6. If I'm going to be real honest with you. Um, as far as my positives go, the 6-man tag, good yet mostly meaningless 6-man tag team main event, fitting for a show that was fine if you watched it, yet also fine if you missed it. And Nakamura getting the win, I'm hoping that's a sign that WWE tends to crank up his push heading into WrestleMania season, as he is, according to the dirt sheets, they're picked to win the Royal Rumble. I would love to see that. The opening segment with Shane O'Mac and Daniel Bryan, and it's refreshing for me to see a character on television stand up for what's right rather than simply bow at the feet of the mighty McMahon family. The tag team match with the Usos and Gable and Benjamin. It was a very good outing for Gable and Benjamin, scoring a non-title win over the champs. Obviously, they're going to get a title shot down the road. And those are pretty much my only hits. Everything else is a miss. That can't be comedy, bull funky nonsense. That's right at the top of that hit list. New Day versus Rusev in English. That miss-hit list, I should say. Ziggler leaving the U.S. title in the ring. With a long promo about what he did in the past, how the fans are not worthy, while ignoring his lopsided loss count in recent years. Left the belt in the ring. He's so talented in the ring, but he just really needs a reset in his career, and there's no reason to believe it's going to happen in WWE. And I think that would be a good time to put the belt on Jinder Mahal, I think. The women's tag match. The match quality, you can make an argument maybe it was hit worthy, but the outcome of the match was disappointing, and it felt like another step toward Riot Squad going from being the hot new toy on SmackDown Live to becoming lost in the shuffle that primarily focuses on champion and challenger. So 5.5 to 6, that's my rating. So nothing more to say. Didi Woodson put a bow on it.
Yeah, I would say if you were going to do the Santa Claus type rating here, I would definitely say that Rusev and them, the tag match would fall under naughty. Definitely Dolph Ziggler would fall under naughty. The rest of it would all be nice because you basically, if you want to build the SmackDown show, you're basically building off of everything but those two matches, or the match and the segment, because they just weren't worth anything. So for me, I'm gonna kind of go right in the middle of you guys and just kind of say 6 even, and just kind of leave it at that. But yeah, the show was not horrible. I'll give it that. It was not horrible, but it did have the two really low moments, the two moments that basically any SmackDown fan would probably want to do without, because I mean, the gimmick stuff is basically getting old. We've had that for years now. It's time to move on and start, something different. So we'll just have to see if maybe in 2018 we can get past all these gimmick things and move on to bigger and better things and have these two shows be even better than what they both are right now, Raw and SmackDown. So not much more I have to say about it. Fletch, let's close it out.
And we will indeed. On Friday night, Anthony Florio will be hosting the NFL football week 16. We got 2 more weeks to go before the end of the regular season. So week 16, we're going to go through all the coverage. The games start on Saturday. Of course, big lineup on Sunday. And then the final Monday Night Football game of the season, because next week after that, week 17, all Sunday games. So definitely we're going to have all the scenarios of how to get into the playoffs, how to win divisions. We'll get all that 10:30 Eastern on the Tone 25. For Anthony Florio, for Didi Woodson, I'm Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for watching this. Have a good night, everybody, and so long for now. Bye-bye.